Hi everyone. Guess what? I'm back out in the woodlot. You probably guessed by now that it's one of my favorite spots, a place that I love to come. And before the snow comes down, because it looks like maybe we're going to get some snow here overnight. Before the snow comes down, it makes it a little harder to walk back through here. Thought I'd come and share some thoughts with you. I've been thinking today about one of those Christmas stories that sometimes we may want to shy away from. It's one of the ones that always caught my attention as a young fella, because it was filled with kind of intrigue and with trouble, with even a shade of violence, and maybe that's sort of why we try to shy away from it. But it's there. It happened. And of course it's the story of the flea, and the reason why I was thinking about that fleeing today, perhaps that'll be revealed a bit to you as you read my e-letter this week. But that story that we read there, as the account goes on, and their talk of these strange men from far away. They're called magi, which is a Greek word that describes an office that was held in the courts of kings for hundreds of years. In fact, Daniel, that we read about back in the Old Testament, likely was a holder of that office. Somebody who was given the responsibility of providing counsel to the king. And so these magi from a place off far away show up at King Herod's house, and they of course have the credentials that they need to get an audience with the king, because they are used to working around and counseling kings. They no doubt had a letter with them that would have spoke to their credentials, and they show up at Herod's house and says, "Where is he? Where is the newborn king? We've come to worship him." Well, this came as a great shock to Herod, because he didn't know of any children that had been born that in his family that could possibly serve as the king. And on top of that, we are introduced to a maniacal character. Someone who, as we study through the history of that part of the world and that time of history, someone who obviously had some issues, to say the least. One who tried to consolidate his power by eliminating any possibilities of someone coming and taking his place. And so we have that story of Herod, who tried to eliminate Jesus Christ by killing the babies. It's a sad story, and we, at this time of year, perhaps want to quickly run over that. But I remember as a young man wondering about this and thinking about this crazy man who thought he could get Jesus. And why would Jesus be any sort of threat to him? This little boy, why would he be any threat? Well, we all grow and we all gain understanding, and I realize a bit more now than I did then as to how politics works. But perhaps Herod was also onto something, in that he also recognized that this little boy was like none other. But this little boy, God in flesh, now residing, as we sometimes sing in the Christmas carols. This little boy was sent on a purpose, on a mission, and no Herods of this world can stop him out. And I was thinking about that here earlier today, and about how the Lord looked after all the planning. He sent these men from far with the resources that were needed to finance a quick getaway. And he gave the wisdom to Joseph and Mary to flee when they had the chance, and therefore preserve the life of their little son, Jesus Christ. And also, we read further on that this was the fulfillment of the prophecy. Out of Egypt I have called my son. That picture of salvation through the one and only Jesus Christ. And there's no Herods of this world, and there's no Magi of this world for that matter, that can keep that from happening. And so the point, the moral of the story really is that we should be like the Magi and definitely not like Herod. That we should be like the Magi and say, where is he who has been born King of the Jews? We have come to worship him. Will you worship him today? Will you join me as we worship the one and only Jesus Christ? I hope you're having a great day. God bless.